Hey guys, I've been microneedling for about 3 months now. I have autoimmune encephalitis, as a lot of you guys know, which is where your immune system attacks your brain. So for about like 2.5 years, I completely stopped my hair loss protocol, which was just microneedling with the Derminator, pretty aggressively, a lot more aggressively than what people would do with a derma roller. And then I would also use ketoconazole shampoo every other day. And so I've got a twin brother, and we can kind of compare side by side. He doesn't do any hair loss protocol. He's going to do a hair transplant down the line, most likely. And so I can compare side by side to him, and I've definitely maintained or restored a little bit of my hairline just from microneedling in the past few months. It's not what it was. You can see there's some thinning on the sides here, and under direct, like overhead lighting, you can see some thinning in the front as well. So I've thought about my options, and so my brother is starting chemotherapy, not for cancer. He's starting it for his autoimmune condition, the autoimmune encephalitis, because we both have it. And the chemotherapy inhibits the proliferation of cells, and that includes hair follicles, so your hair falls out, which is why you see a lot of people on chemotherapy who have their head wrap or whatever to hide that they're balding. This usually reverses once you stop the chemotherapy, and your hair will grow back. On occasion, it can grow back at a different with a different texture or a different color. But I'm going to be, if he has a response to that therapy, I'm going to be starting it up in 3 months as well, and it's going to be a 6-month long therapy. And so my thought is I'm going to continue my microneedling, and I microneedle pretty aggressively, especially in these areas here. I microneedle until it bleeds. I've seen people like on Reddit say, don't microneedle until it bleeds. I don't see any reason why you shouldn't. I think if you have pinpoint blood, or if the area is relatively pink, I think it's safe to move on. But I do microneedle pretty heavily in those areas where I have a lot of hair loss. Areas like these that have gone pretty much bare bald are really hard to get back, so that's why I microneedle so aggressively. So I'm going to continue my ketoconazole shampoo every other day, which is a mild anti-androgen shampoo, and I leave it on for about 5 to 10 minutes before I wash it out. And I'm going to continue my relatively aggressive microneedling with the Derminator 2 every week, and I'll link a couple cards here for how to use it and my results with it, because I didn't have a lot of results with the Terminator 2. So my issue is in 3 months, I'm likely going to be starting this chemotherapy where my hair is going to fall out. And so during that time, I'm going to be at high risk, very high risk for infection. So I'm not going to be microneedling because I don't want to put myself at risk for scalp infection. I don't want to put myself at risk at any infection. I'm going to be flying out to Denver from Idaho, and so I'm going to be wearing an N95, and I'm going to have hand sanitizer with me, and I'm going to do everything I can to not get an infection, because if I get an infection, that's very risky when my immune system is so suppressed by this chemotherapy. And so I'm not going to be microneedling for 6 months. At the end of the 6 months, hopefully my brother and I are put into remission from the autoimmune encephalitis, and we'll be put on a maintenance medication called Cellcept that I'm already on, but we'll be taken off for the chemotherapy so we don't have further suppression of our immune system, because the chemotherapy is already highly, highly suppressive. It is the top tier, strongest medication for autoimmune encephalitis or autoimmune conditions. So my thought is at the end of the 6 months of the chemotherapy, I'm going to shave my head for whatever hair is left, and then I'm going to start using Minoxidil. Now, I have considered using Minoxidil several times, and I've actually applied it and then got cold feet. And the reason why I got cold feet is because I didn't want any other additional symptoms, so like anything like fatigue, or like you get those rare people on Reddit who are like, say they get anxiety or something like that. I already have high anxiety from autoimmune encephalitis, not to mention the complications that come along with that mentally, about like my future, am I going to be put in remission, etc., the psychological aspect of it. I didn't want any additional symptoms stacked on top of my autoimmune encephalitis symptoms that I wouldn't be able to discern one from the other. So I'm hoping in 9 months I'm going to be recovered from my autoimmune encephalitis in recovery, and I'll shave off whatever hair I have left, and I'm going to start utilizing minoxidil alongside microneedling. Now, there's a very popular study where there were two groups compared side by side. One group only used minoxidil, 5%, and the other group used minoxidil and derma rolling, or their microneedling, excuse me. And you can see by these pictures here, after 1 week, you can already see extremely noticeable regrowth after only 1 week with the microneedling and the minoxidil group. So they did both microneedling and minoxidil. I already microneedle a lot, and it sucks. I hate doing it. I really do, because it hurts so bad. I would like to do it and have more benefit from it. So I think utilizing minoxidil, so long as I don't get heart palpitations or low blood pressure or anything like that, then I'm going to utilize it alongside my microneedling so I can have these more profound results, because the microneedling itself is quite painful and a bit of a nuisance to do once a week. However, I've been very consistent with it. So that's my plan for my hair loss protocol. I know people probably looking at my hair going, it's not quite where it was. Well, I've been, took a 2.5 year break from microneedling or doing anything with my hair. So I let my hair follicles miniaturize quite a bit. Excuse me. And so I plan to restore my hair as much as I can, starting 9 months down the line. I know it sounds like a long time, but I will be doing kind of a timeline with before and after pictures using minoxidil. But I just want to kind of put that out there, that utilizing derma rolling or microneedling alongside minoxidil is going to give you much more profound results. It does have a higher risk of, dropping your blood pressure or increasing the risk of heart palpitations, because you're going to have that increased systemic absorption from, you're creating puncture wounds in your scalp by derma rolling or microneedling, and then you're applying the minoxidil a day after, and you're going to have higher absorption or higher systemic absorption, so you have a higher risk of side effects compared to just using minoxidil alone. So you have that kind of trade-off of, do you want to use minoxidil and microneedling to have that more pronounced effect, or do you just want to use minoxidil and see how you respond to it? Of course, when you use minoxidil, either way, you're going to have a shedding phase that's going to last about 1 to 3 weeks, typically. Usually when people have a heavier shedding phase, they respond better to minoxidil. So honestly, like in my case, if I were to use minoxidil regardless of the chemo, I would just shave my head and then apply the minoxidil, and that way by the time my hair is grown back, the minoxidil has started taking effect. But that's my plan for my hair loss protocol. Again, for the next 3 months, while I'm waiting before I get on the chemotherapy for my autoimmune encephalitis, I am going to be continuing that aggressive microneedling and ketoconazole shampoo protocol, so I can regain as much hair as I possibly can before it starts falling out and I can't microneedle due to risk of infection. That's my plan, guys. I hope that was informative at all, and I look forward to giving you guys some before and afters and maintaining my hairline, because I don't want to get a hair transplant. I see a lot of people getting hair transplants, and it's just, I see them with a marker. The doctor puts a marker right like fucking over their forehead, and it looks absolutely terrible when they get the fucking hair transplant. It doesn't look natural at all. And you'll see a lot of advertisements on Instagram where people are like, we found this new novel way of restoring your hairline, and it's literally just minoxidil and finasteride in a pill. It's like, dude, those are the two only FDA approved medications for androgenic alopecia that have been out for fucking ages now. It's not breaking news. And then you look at the guy's hairline, and it's literally just like a little circle around his fucking forehead. So it's like shittily done. hair transplant, and he's advertising minoxidil and finasteride in a pill, which everybody is. You'll see all sorts of brands, Lock Lab, Hims, etc. So you can get finasteride at a fraction of the cost by just going to a dermatologist. They'll give you finasteride and minoxidil oral if you want that. Higher risk of systemic side effects. But anyway, yeah, so that's some information on minoxidil and microneedling and what I'm going to do in the future for my hair loss. And I'm going to probably shave my head for the chemo, etc. Okay, that's it. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.